Peace, family. I want to address some of the comments that were made on the last video that I made, the commentary concerning vaccines. And I didn't just want to leave you hanging and tell you to stop vaccinating your children unless you're informed, right? If you are informed and you believe that vaccination is the right decision for your child, then you should do so. My suggestion is to do the research, because there's so much research that is coming out now that's showing that the vaccines are polluted and they're not good for everybody, okay? Because we are everyone is made genetically different from the next person. So you want to be informed when you do that. But I didn't want to leave you hanging there. I want to talk about how do you deal with the toxins that come into your body. Well, I have an answer for you. Now, in the Nation of Islam, one of the things that's prescribed for us is a dietary prescription. And that dietary prescription comes in the form of eating one meal a day. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad wrote 2 books on how to eat to live, book 1 and book 2. I suggest you get these books. These books are life-giving and life-saving. And I can say that for myself. Now, I'm in my 40s, and a lot of you have asked me, oh, you got 7 children. Is it from the same man? Yes, they're from the same man, or you look good. I get this all the time. You look good to have 7 children, or you look good for your age. Well, we all can look good for our age. We all can look good no matter how many children that we have if we're women. Now, the thing is, it's how we eat to live. Hippocrates said that if we use medicine as our food as opposed to the medicine that we receive now, then maybe we'll have a longer existence in life. Master Farah Muhammad, who gave the teachings to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on how to eat to live, said that what we eat keeps us here and what we eat takes us away. Now, if we look at that logically, then it makes sense. Because if you look at the state of the United States and how obese we are, it boils down to our environment and what we put into our bodies. Most of the foods that we eat, even if we're buying organic, is poison in some form or fashion. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us this prescription on how to eat to live, and by eating one meal a day. I know that's revolutionary in the 1930s to tell people to eat one meal a day. It's revolutionary now to tell people to eat one meal a day. But you know what? Science is bearing witness to the fact of eating one meal a day is much more healthier than eating your 3 meals, your 4 meals, or your 6 meals. Taco Bell has a commercial and it talks about the 4th meal. When you look into the fitness lifestyle, they'll tell you to eat a bunch of meals all throughout the day. We have become like cows, grazing all day long. However, we're different from cows for the simple fact that they're working out all day long. They're moving, they're exercising all day long as they graze. But most animals don't even eat 6 to 5 meals all day long. So the nature has set up for us to live as long as we want to live. I saw some scientific studies that says that in the DNA and the genetics that a human can live up to 125 years. I saw another scientist who says that we have the capacity to live up to 500 to 1,000 years. And if you look in the Bible and you look at the prophets and you look at the people in the Bible, Methuselah, they have lived for hundreds and hundreds of years. But we can't get past 100 years here in the United States. The average lifespan of the American citizen is 78.8 years. And we think that's good versus, you go to Okinawa or someplace in Japan where you have a group of centenarians who, live over 100 years. And then when you look at the statistics and that number, then what you see is that women are 80% who share the 100 years or plus are in the percentile of 80% versus the men. So you got to ask, how do we get there? What kind of lifestyle that will allow us to live a much longer life? Now, we were talking about how to eat to live as it concerns the vaccines with the 1 meal a day. Typically you're fasting. I know in a lot of the Christian community, once a month, you do a fast where you eat after sundown, 1 meal, you wait. And psychologically, it may be difficult, but if you make this a lifestyle, then this will become easier and easier. Now, let me say this. I'm not a doctor. I'm a practitioner of following this prescription or dietary prescription. And the people that I surround myself with, who are very active, who are very highly intelligent, who don't weigh, other than themselves, follow this particular prescription of eating one meal a day. Now, I would not suggest in the book on how to eat to live, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad also says you don't want to put your child on one meal a day as well. You don't even want to start off eating one meal a day. I know some of us want to go hard in the paint, but what you want to do is to wean yourself off of all the meals that you've had. So maybe you've been eating 4 meals, your 3 meals plus a snack. Or, maybe you are at 3 meals. So you want to start off trying 2 meals a day. And if that's good for a couple of months, then start trying 1 meal a day. And then ultimately we want to do every other day. And that is what, if the Malcolm X, he prescribed to every other day. And then once we master 1 meal a day or 1 meal every other day, then we can do 1 meal every 2 days. And your body will survive. You will not go into starvation mode like some people will say that you will. And I know I'm going to hear some of that in the comments. But if you do your research and do the research on the science behind it, you'll see that it is more beneficial for you to have less calories in your body as opposed to consume so many calories throughout the day. Now, when we eat our 1 meal a day, typically we get up in the morning, right? Between 6 and 8 o'clock, we're eating a meal, a hefty meal, and we've been taught that breakfast is the most important meal. And then from 8 to 12, 4 hours later, we're eating lunch. So we have a bunch of food that has been in our body, has not really digested. It takes between 8 to 12 hours to digest 1 meal, depending on how much you've eaten. And then from there, 12 o'clock, between 5 and 6 or 7, then we eat another meal. And so if the food is full of toxins and full of poisons and full of other things that we know nothing about, if we're buying in packages and not creating our own, growing our own food or cooking our own food, then all of those toxins are being processed by our body. Now, let me go into some of the science behind, the history behind eating 3 meals a day. Now, this is nothing but a cultural construct. Now, the Romans believed that to eat 1 meal a day was to be healthy, and to eat anything more than 1 meal a day was nothing but gluttony. Now, if we fast forward to the 17th century, what you've seen is the aristocratic society thought that when you ate more than 1 meal, they started eating breakfast. And those who were in the elite and the rich society, they believed that the more that you ate, the more it showed that you were affluent or you were rich or you were wealthy. And so then you started seeing the aristocratic society having more than 1 meal. Now, with the advent of artificial lighting, you started seeing people eating later and later. Now, the Industrial Revolution came around in the mid-19th century. And so now you have a labor force who needed to sustain themselves by eating, even their bosses did. And so now you have a society that has developed in this cultural construct to start eating more than 1 meal a day. Now, then you fast forward to the 1920s and you have John Harvey Kellogg. Now, Kellogg's cereals, if you're not familiar with that, he left a bowl of maize out on the counter. It became stale. Then what he did was he put it through some rollers and he baked it. And what he ended up was the first corn flake. And so now you have a revolutionary using breakfast cereal. So what do? You have this company who's going to promote eating breakfast. And so that's what you see on Saturdays. You'll see all kind of breakfast commercials. So now you have an industry that, is promoting breakfast so that they can make money. And so now they're creating a culture of eating. I think I read somewhere where they said the snack industry this past year made about $330 billion. That's a lot of money for snacking. So that's why you see all this modification of food, the genetic modification of food, trying to grow food fast, trying to have all this unhealthy food that we're feeding the population. Because just like the pharmaceutical companies with the vaccines, there is money in this. But at the same time, there's collateral damage in this, and you're creating this unhealthy food for people, and our society is becoming fatter and fatter and sicker and sicker. So, we have to pay attention of the history of how 3 meals a day came. Even the U.S. Department of Agriculture pushed this program onto the schools, and how the pyramid was set up. And if we go back to where we first started from, we ate when we got hungry. We ate when the body called for food. And now in our minds, we think we need food all the time. We're surrounded by suggestions of eating food. But let me get to the science of eating 1 meal a day. So the messenger came out with 1 meal a day back in the 1930s. And a lot of people scoffed at it and laughed at the followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for eating this 1 meal a day. But when you look at them, their skin tone is not reflective of a bunch of poisons in their system. Once a month, we have what you call the National Unity Fast. And when this video shows, inshallah, we'll be partaking in the National Unity Fast. And from the end of Thursday night all the way to Sunday night, we do a 3-day fast. And in that 3-day fast, we don't eat any food. We allow our bodies to go into fasting mode. And in that, once a month, by fasting, we're able to purge out all of the toxins that were in our bodies from eating the 1 meal a day. And what you'll notice is that if you subscribe to this 1 meal a day, then you'll find out that your immune system is much healthier, it's strengthened. You'll find that you have less sickness, less illness, that you're not out of work more. Your children are much healthier. You can think better. Your thoughts are much faster. So there are a lot of benefits to eating 1 meal a day. Now, according to American neuroscientist Dr. Mark Matson, in a research paper he published in the British Medical Journal called Lancet in 2005, and you do your own research, eating 1 meal a day is the healthiest and most natural way of life. Dr. Mark Matson believed that he prescribed to 1 meal a day, but he believed that with 40% decrease in your calorie intake, then you can combat certain disease like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, epilepsy, as well as cardiovascular disease. Now, going to 1 meal a day, it's evident that you're going to lose weight. Okay, it's evident, but we're not just talking about just the outward appearance of looking good. We're talking about what goes on inside the body, the biomedical activities that are going inside. Now, there was a paper published in 2008 by the Department of Nutritional Science and Toxicology, and they showed that eating alternate days or fasting alternate day regimens significantly reduce cell proliferation rates. Now, where cell death is essential due to aging, so, as the more toxins go into our bodies, the less antioxidants that we have, then the cells will die. And so that's when we see the aging process. And so when we have alternate days of eating or 1 meal a day eating, then what you'll see is the reduction of cell proliferation, which will slow down the aging process altogether by favoring the recycling, the reducing, and the rebuilding of the young cells. So in essence, also you will see the process of the fat being reduced. You'll see that your metabolic rate will increase. So there are a lot of benefits and a lot of research that bear witness to 1 meal a day or how to eat to live as prescribed by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, those who have diabetes issues, this helps regulate your diabetes. How to eat to live. Prescribe to it. Now, the other benefits to how to eat to live, you have increased productivity, decreased appetite, because what happens is when you are subscribing to 1 meal a day, then mentally your mind is not calling for food, and then because at a certain time that you're going to eat, and then also your stomach shrinks, so your body is not going to call for the food because it doesn't need that much food. It needs what it needs to sustain. The body is an intelligent specimen. But it is us who believes and decides to give ourselves all of these things that kill our bodies. Now, again, there's weight loss. You have a better weight management. So if you're eating 1 meal a day as opposed to 4 or 5, 6 meals during the day, you know for sure that you can manage your weight. And you'll eat till you get full. You'll have increased mental capacity or increased awareness. Why? Because you have put your body in a fasting state that allows your body to be able to detox itself on a regular basis. And if you do the 3-day fast at the end of the month or the beginning of the month, However, so you choose and you wish, I suggest you do it at least once a month. Then everything that was left over, the toxins that were left over, then you're able to eliminate it completely from your body, and it allows your organs to rest so it can rebuild and regenerate itself. Now, people who subscribe to 1 meal a day. 61-year-old retired U.S. General Stanley McChrystal, commander of the Joint Special Operations Command. He subscribed to 1 meal a day, and he's been practicing, I believe, almost 30 years, his 1 meal a day. And his soldiers, during this particular time when he was the commander, they also practiced 1 meal a day. Fitness guru Ori Hofmeckler promotes 1 meal a day as the warrior diet. And what he is promoting is that not only does this strengthen you, but you're able to lose the excessive amount of fat that you have on your body. Now, one of his one-time women's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, DC Maxwell, she also prescribes to 1 meal a day, and she openly endorses 1 meal a day. Now, this shows, as Elijah Muhammad followers already do, that eating 1 meal a day, there is some benefit in it. Our food is our medicine, and our food will allow us to live longer, or it will allow us to die. So this way of eating may not be for everyone, but if you're tired of constantly eating, being obsessed with food, or if you feel like an eating plan is making you more bulky than slim, then it may be something that you may want to try. I know I've been practicing 1 meal a day for the past 10 years. I did not do 1 meal a day when I was pregnant. I did not do 1 meal a day when I was nursing. But when I was not nursing or pregnant at the same time, I'm doing 1 meal a day now. My goal is to do every other day. I'm not there yet, and some days I may slip. I'm not 100% to 1 meal a day, but I strive every day to be on 1 meal a day because I know that there are some benefits to it. I have not been sick in over 2 years. My children, they don't get sick hardly ever. And when they do, and if we ever do get sick, then our recovery period is extremely fast. So I just want to encourage everybody to go get How to Eat to Live, books 1 and 2 by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and to try to at least practice 1 meal a day. And I would love to hear your comments on the successes and even the not so successful issues that you may have eating 1 meal a day. Because I may be able to give you some tips or forward you to someone who will be able to give you some better tips than I can. And remember, anytime you change your diet, anytime you start a fasting regimen or exercising regimen, you first want to make sure that you talk to your doctor to make sure that you are physically able to do such. So again, I'm just telling you from my perspective, from my experience, from me being a practitioner of 1 meal a day, and I pray that this helps you have a long life. Peace, family.